Hello everyone, Marv here, and today's video is a little unique. I've been meaning to do this for a long time, but older fans might be aware that around a year ago, me and my buddy Syndex had made a stream, the Scott Pilgrim stream, and y'all really liked that stream. But I know not many of y'all are willing to watch a 5-hour stream, so instead of, watching that, you can actually watch these cut down versions, i.e. stream highlights. Basically, this video is going to be a stream highlight of me and Syndex's Scott Pilgrim discussion. Now, I will be warning you, if you're a newer fan, you were probably not aware that that old stream had really bad audio. The reason it had a really bad audio was because I had a really bad mic, but I have this better mic, so do bear in mind that the audio is a little finicky, and I do sound a little... but like I sound like fucking Alistair. So yeah, I just want to give y'all a heads up, so bear with the audio. But yeah, please enjoy our Scott Pilgrim discussion.
Finished the movie. I watched a bit of it, then I went to like the comics, and then like I think halfway through like those like comic dubs or whatever, I was like, you know what, I might as well finish the movie. It's probably gonna be a different ending regardless, and I mean I was right.
Yeah, so I mean, after all, the books are where I have other than the show, I have a lot of grievances with I have some, not a lot, but some grievances with the books, but I have grievances with everything. So I'm a
Have you ever tried
an
the parry
unhappy
attack,
bitch.
dude? If you perfect parry, by the way, it's the circle button. If you perfect parry when an enemy's attacking you, you can basically kill him instantly, dude.
Yeah.
It's broken.
But yeah, we'll be fine. I've parried because you taught me. I didn't even know you could in this game. But no, so today we're gonna watch, like I promised Index, we're gonna discuss the stuff in order. Not in order of what was released, in order of what we watched and consumed.
What was the first thing we watched? I think we went backwards, right?
We watched the movie first because it was the shortest to watch.
Oh yeah, the movie was like what, 2 hours?
Yeah,
the
it's
Take
like,
was 3.
And then the books
it
were
took us
literally
8 hours for the books.
Yeah, granted we dicked around a bit for that, but yeah, the books fucking took forever. It took forever to get through.
Oh, we even did some of the extra stuff like Free Comic Book Day.
Yeah, I don't have much to say on those extras. Oh, we'll talk about the extras when we get to them, but I don't have much to say about the extras. So basically, these annoying pricks.
Yeah, what were we saying?
So basically, we're gonna start with the movie, and overall, I'll start with my thoughts on the movie. Overall, I think it's a pretty good adaptations of the books overall. However, I do think there are certain things about the movie that I don't think has a fundamental misunderstanding of the books, but certainly didn't translate very well into the movie version. However, I will say this, and I'm going to go into more detail when we talk about the books. There is stuff in the movie that I do think the movie did better than the books. Mostly in the early volumes, because that's where the movie had more to work with. But personally, I think the movie overall, I think the movie's an 8 out of 10. And I think it is a welcome addition, a pretty good adaptation of the books. However, I think, like I said, there's a lot of fundamental misunderstandings of the characters in terms of translation, and it's mostly adaptation stuff I don't like, and stuff that I think that like I said, while I do think there's some stuff the movie does better, I also think there's a lot of stuff that the movie does worse than the books. And we'll get into that. Syndex, what are your thoughts on the movie? Just like a quick overview.
Yeah, pretty much. The movie, the first half of the movie where it's adapting Volume 1 and Volume 3 isn't that bad per se. I'm mostly gonna be talking about like the plot itself, not like the actors or like the choice of acting or whatever, or how their voices are, you know. I'm mostly gonna be talking about the story here, because I mean, if we're gonna be talking about how they're like acting or whatever, we could be here all day, but we're mostly just talking about story. today, you know, for the most part. I will mention stuff when it needs to be mentioned when it is in story, you know, like if there's any positives to it. But yeah, definitely like when it's like volume 1 through 3, they adapted it pretty well. It somewhat, you know, stays somewhat close. It's like a summarized version of them, of course.
Yeah, I'd agree.
You
It's
know,
basically a summarized version of the
it's a
books.
summarized version of it, and of course, me personally, I do prefer the books, you know, just because they have more content. But I'm not saying that like the movie is like bad, because I mean, of course, you know, you kind of have to summarize stuff because you don't want to make like an 8-hour movie. No one's really gonna watch that. I mean, I would watch it, but I'm saying that like not the casual people who don't know anything about Scott Pilgrim probably won't, you know.
Yeah, like the casual audience is not watching an 8-hour movie.
So they
like,
have to like
be a one-to-one
summarize
adaptation.
Things.
And
Let me see. So the later half is a bit of a mixed bag here and there. It's original stuff that's not really in the books or anywhere else. Like for example, well, I don't think, do they bring it back? It takes off like Roxy's like chain, like whip thing.
No, they don't bring her like Roxy in Takes Off. Well, we'll talk about Takes Off later, but Roxy in Takes Off for the most part has like the only thing they adapt, I think, more from the movie than the books is well, granted the books does it, but I think the movie is a bit more explicit about it, where how dismissive Ramona is about Roxy.
That is also kind of cool to see a little bit more, because in the books there's like one line talking about like what do you call Ramona and Roxy's relationship, and while you could definitely get like, oh, they probably did something, or like Ramona kind of dismisses her as like you know, kind of like a phase in a way, the movie's a little bit more explicit about what exactly Ramona's thoughts on Roxy is.
Yeah.
And of course, at the time, that was basically the only piece of media of Scott Pilgrim that was a bit more explicit. Of course, it takes off. There's an entire episode about it, but
yeah, dedicated to it.
That's getting a little bit too far ahead. The twins.
They are not characters in this movie.
They are not characters. They are just
an obstacle
there.
for Scott to get through.
They're just there. And to be fair, I mean, the twins don't even do much in Volume 5, but, like, even then, I feel like the twins had way more in Volume 5 than in the movie.
Yeah, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yeah, so... yeah, and of course, you know, the ending, which is a little bit more divisive for me. I definitely do prefer and like the fact that they went different for the books, because I do not like how the movie ends in a way. Because what it basically implies is that all Ramona's shitty things were just done because she has a fucking chip in her head.
Yeah.
I don't like that. I don't like that, and I feel like some people were given the wrong idea, being like, "Oh, you know, like, oh,
she
she's
had no
actually
control
a decent
of what she
person.
did.
It's just like she, you know, got a chip in her head." It's like, no, there's some fault with her, but you know, the movie kind of just throws it off and is like, "Ah, yeah, no chip," you know. So that's why I'm thankful that they actually changed that for the book. The book. Because that is one thing that the movie actually kind of did. It gave Brian a chance to basically have a version of the story out there and see how he thought about it and how people reacted to it. And I feel like what do you call, the movie in a way kind of influenced his decision to basically change the story a bit for Volume 6. Because I feel like the movie ending could have been the book ending, but because the movie kind of used it first, he decided, you know what? I feel like this is better. I feel like this is better. You know, it conveys the message that I actually, you know, want to convey.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say like he does portray as a really good villain. You really do hate Gideon in the
I love movie version of Gideon. Like,
you really do hate this guy.
well, it's because like if I could put my 2 cents on it, it's like I like Book Gideon a lot in terms of writing as a character. I like what he's supposed to represent. Like I like how
basically a foil in a way, or like a foil way of Scott Pilgrim, or who he
yeah, it's
could
like
be.
yeah, like well, granted, we'll get into depths of how the book is, but basically, I like how the book makes it where he's like he has a similar problem to Scott, but it's almost flipped. While but here's the thing I will say this, movie Gideon's just way more entertaining. Like as a character, he's just more entertaining as a character. Because movie Gideon, straight up, this is one of the positives I have about this movie. While not as like deep or complex as Book Gideon, movie Gideon is a cocky, like a pompous prick at towards the end, and you can get a gauge of like how much he planned everything out and how much he used the X's to like divide Scott, and you hate him, but he is so entertaining to watch. He's so funny, just the way he interacts with Scott. Like I fucking love movie Gideon, because he's just like such a prick. You know what I mean? Like he's a pompous asshole, and it's so funny. Like he's full of himself. He's so full of himself.
Nice. You beat him before you even got to the second stage.
Yeah, he's only worth a couple coins. But yeah, like the coffee. Let's go.
Coffee.
But yeah, like movie Gideon is as a in terms of a villain, like as an antagonist, works for the like I think he works for this story. He would not work for the book version. I'll say that he wouldn't work for the book version. He works for the movie version, very much so, where a lot of stuff is condensed and we don't have time to go into the nitty-gritty detail. But he just, like, to me, he works for what the movie is doing, which I think that's a distinction we're gonna make, is that, like, certain aspects of the stories work for the version of the story being told. Like, let's be real here. Like, movie Gideon not work for show Gideon or book Gideon. In the same way as, like, what's it called? That book Gideon wouldn't work for, for like the show version, right? Like these versions of the characters tend to work in their version of the story, because that's how we gotta treat some of this stuff. Now, it gets a little messy with Takes Off, but we're getting ahead of ourselves. Basically, I think what we should start now for the discussion part with
you should heal your HP, dude. Like
I probably should. Yeah, but I take a lot of damage. What I'll say is I think you know what? Let's start with the negatives. I want to get the negatives out of the way.
Ghost, do not talk about Taco Bell. I am a Gravity Falls fan.
Okay.
I'm kidding. You can talk about Taco Bell, but
fucking AK, bro. Yeah. Basically, the thing I wanna highlight is the reason I want to talk about the negatives is because one, the movie, while it has negatives, enough to it's way smaller than the positives. I have to say. We'll put it that way. And plus, I want us to end all discussions in a positive note, so it doesn't seem like we hate this shit. We both love Scott Pilgrim, okay? So I think it's more effective if we negatives first. So the next, do you want me to take the lead on the next movie, or do you want to?
Takes Off.
No, movie. We're still on the movie.
Oh, we're still on the movie. Oh yeah. So yeah, overall, the movie
we'll start with negatives and then we'll go
fine.
to positives.
It's fine. You know, it's an alright summary of the books. But the thing is that like, the first half, good summary of the first 3 volumes. The other half, not so much, because it just basically goes into its own original little story. So if you're going into the movie being like, oh, this is like like a very summarized version of the books, it is kind of like that, but not exactly.
Halfway through it is, yeah.
Halfway through, it basically turns into its own thing, and the only reason that it is like that is because the story wasn't even finished when they were making this movie. So they kind of had to do their own thing. I mean, Brian already said it's like, oh, you could do your own thing, you know. Either way, it's gonna be your own thing. So
yeah. I guess a negative I have to bring up. This is This is in terms of okay. This is in terms of okay, you bastards. This is in terms of writing, because Syndex is mostly looking at this from the perspective of like adaptations and stuff like that. I'm gonna look at it a bit more of a writing perspective. Okay, you fucking bastard.
well, yeah. I mean, this discussion is more about like the adaptations, and you know, when you're talking about adaptations, you have to really talk about like all the other
versions,
media, because the movie is based on the books in some capacity. So like, it's pretty important to make sure that you're not like making something that's worse than the source material, you know. The goal is to make at least something better or comparable, really.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Also, but I also think it's also important to take an account of looking at these also by themselves, because something could be a bad adaptation, a good overall product. You know what I mean? Like something could be like, for example, the Spider-Verse movies. Is it bad that the first Miles Morales essential movie is a multiverse movie that isn't 1-to-1 to the comics of Ultimate Spider-Man? Like, yeah, from an adaptation perspective, yeah, that may be bad, but of like trying to translate this accurately, but overall, nobody would really say Spider-Verse is bad because Miles Morales' first outing in film is a multiverse movie, because it's still a good movie. What the fuck? All right. But also, so that's why I'm approaching it also from the perspective of how do these work by themselves, and so overall, what I'll say is, but in isolation, I do still think the movie is overall well written. However, there are some writing I do have with the first half. Mostly, it mostly involves Scott and Ramona. I personally think, in terms of writing,
I'm sorry.
With Scott and Ramona,
go get the chest.
Yeah, get the chest. With Scott and Ramona, right? The thing I think is bad about the movie that other versions do a better job in justifying is why Ramona likes Scott. Cause, oh, you're getting your ass kicked. Get up, Syndex.
Dude, it's okay. All right, actually, that was funny. All right.
But no, like, back to what I was saying, is justifying Ramona going on a date. Like, the other adaptations do a really good job on why you could see why Ramona would give this weird dorky guy a chance. However, the movie, I think, does a really poor job in portraying that, because no offense to Michael Cera, but his like thing as Scott, like in the movie, he doesn't have his same like almost ADHD like tendencies that he has in the book and show. To where like you get to where you get to, he's more awkward in this version, right? Like, he's not as charming as
Michael Cera is basically acting like how he usually did in that era.
In his own movies, yeah.
Pretty much, Michael Cera's character was playing those type of characters, and he kind of treated Scott Pilgrim. Well, I'm not saying he treated it, because of course, you know, the writers definitely wrote his character, but his writers probably told him, is like, basically act like how you acting like in, like, for example, Superbad
and shit.
Yeah.
And I, unlike some people who don't, I think that's fine, and I think this works for this version of Scott. Like, movie Scott, if this works for movie Scott. It wouldn't work for Takes Off Scott or anything, because in the movie he's supposed to be an awkward weirdo. Like it isn't accurate, and I'd certainly prefer. Oh, hey Lucas Lee, hey Captain America. I definitely prefer how he is often in the books in terms of his characterization, but I don't think it's inherently bad in the movie. However, what I will say, right, and the thing I do have a problem with, is I think that personality and especially, and this also comes down to Ramona, but we'll get into Ramona in a bit. I'll get into Ramona talking about her characterization in this movie. It doesn't feel like this version of Ramona would like this version of Scott. Like, it doesn't feel like I don't feel the connection. Like when you watch Takes Off's first episode and you see how they interact, you can see why Ramona would like this dorky loser, right? Because he's awkward, but he also has a bit of charm, like as like stiff. Like he isn't as like, oh, we killed Captain America, but never mind, he killed himself.
And ahead of Endgame, damn. I mean, he never died.
yeah. But no, like we in the movie, it doesn't. When you watch the scene, and I pointed this out because it was something I noticed when me and Alex were rewatching it. I don't feel like this version of Ramona would give the version of Scott a chance, just because of how weird and how visibly uncomfortable Ramona is in the scene. Like, take a look at Volume 1 of the books or the show, and you see how they interact. You can Ramona with, like, you could definitely see it. Like, you could be like, okay, this makes sense why he would give this essentially random guy she's delivering a package a chance, right? You can see it.
How romantic.
With this version, yeah, how romantic. But you can't see it with what's it called? But I feel like you can't see that with the movie Scott and Ramona, and I'm gonna explain why. For one, in the scene, he's just visibly like acting like, which Scott is weird in all adaptations, except he's acting like a creepy weirdo. It's unlike the other versions where he's like a high, like how would you describe Scott the other versions in terms of like his weirdness, right? He has a charming dorky weirdness, right?
I remember I heard this from like a fan animation. I mean, I think we both seen it or whatever. It's like where they're talking about the movie. Dude, pork. Okay. What do you call? Where it was like Ramona was like, I don't like the protagonist, you know, and then Scott's like, oh, he's just like me. It's like, nah, he's nothing like you, you know. He's like, he's a dork, but you're a cute dork, kind of thing, you know.
Oh yeah, it's that one video I showed you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that basically is right. That's basically like he acts like a weird, like he acts like the vibe I got while watching him in the movie interact with Ramona for like at Wallace's apartment, like a creepy, like a creepy incel essentially. You know what I mean? Like he felt like a creep. Like he didn't have like dorky charm that like he didn't have that boyish charm like of like, oh, he's weird, like, but like he has a bit of charm to it, right? Like you can see he's like a dork. He's like a cute like you said, he's a cute dork. But in this one, he's just a creepy, like, basement dweller dork kind of vibe. Like, I'm not really describing it, but you get what I'm saying. Like, he comes across more creepy than he does endearing. And so while I was watching it, I was like why the fuck would Ramona give this guy a chance? Like, to any capacity. I would be, like, if I was in her position, I'd be like, this is like someone's basement dweller. Somebody get their goblin. Like, and it doesn't help with Ramona's dialogue where she's like, I think this line sums it up. If you, oh, I'm cutting off. How about this? Do I sound better?
Yeah.
All right, I'm getting my ass kicked. Thank you, Syndex. But no, like in the this is probably because I'm moving away. You know what? I'm gonna stack some video games so my mic can be my mouth so I don't cut off. It might be a connection thing, but it might work out. All right. So back to what I was saying, right? Gotta admit, though the casting movie was absolutely. I agree. Okay, the casting. But back to what I was saying, right? It's like it's like this line, the line in the scene, I think sums it up very well, where Ramona's like, if you I think it was like, if I go on a date with you, sign the damn package, and he signs it and like really quick, like where it's like it feels like she's being harassed essentially. Like, it doesn't feel like two people having a natural conversation. It feels like somebody who's just getting harassed by some random creep. And like I said, it doesn't help that just Ramona just seems creeped out during all of this. Like, she just visibly seems like she wants to fucking leave. And so it's like, I don't get, like, and I think that's a problem in terms of like the way this was written and the way.
I'm sorry. The thing that just happened in the game just reminded me of the struggle that I had to get another set of these like Comic-Con Scott Pilgrim wristbands.
Yeah.
When I was trying to find out, and then it's like, oh, items sold out.
Yeah, because I kept clicking sold out, and I was like, all right, well, fuck you too then. Huh? But no, like, that's the thing. It's like, while watching it, you get like like she just doesn't. It just seems like she isn't interested, and that also comes down to another problem I have, which is the characterization of Ramona. Like, when I read the books, I was genuinely shocked how fucking like more likable she was in the book. I'll say this now: the most likable version of Ramona version, because she's really the main protagonist. Has to be. Like, she has to have be a lot more enduring to just essentially replacing Scott as the main character. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Like, in the movie, it just seems doesn't genuinely care all that much. Like, she's just a robot. She's just static, and it's no, and I'm not the actress in any. The way she portrays Ramona is way better, I think, in terms of like characterization. Like, and it is to my understanding that the original intent for the movie ending was for Scott to end up with knives. So this could have been like an intentional.
Oh my god! Hold on. Yo,
What?
coffee! We need coffee! We need coffee!
Speaking of knives. But no, like like, that was my understanding, and I'm pretty sure that was like the original intent was Scott getting with knives at the end instead of Ramona.
It still doesn't make any sense, dude.
Well, no. With that context in mind, it makes some parts of the ending make a bit more sense. It's like, let me put it this way, right? Why wouldn't the final between Gideon and be like the books where it's Scott and Ramona teaming up on him, like it was in the books? I think that makes way more sense than having Scott and Knives, a character that has not with Gideon at all throughout the movie, to fight him instead of Scott and Ramona. Like there's stuff about the story that makes more with the idea that Scott's supposed to get with Knives, which with me saying that, to clarify this before somebody clips, it does not mean I would have rather had that ending more with him being with Ramona. Not only because it's more accurate to the book, but also it's not fucking creepy. But there's envy.
Yeah, your mic's still cutting, dude. Like,
I guess we're just gonna have to thug it out. I don't know what to do.
yeah, but yeah, no, that original ending, yeah, no.
I don't want it.
No, no.
I don't care if it makes aspects of this more sense. I don't want it.
The audience the audience reaction to the original ending definitely was like, you know, correct. Like, yeah, no. Like, first of all, the moment Ramona comes in, pretty much, Scott ignores Knives completely. It just doesn't make any sense. And plus, The age difference? Like, come on, like the
It's
the
just
fuck?
creepy. It's just fucking creepy.
Like, what the fuck? Yeah, no.
Like that's why like I get like to a capacity why certain aspects of this movie makes more sense if Scott's with knives. At the same time, I don't to me that's like a fundamental
Cut it.
Ah, fuck. All right, let me just repeat myself. To me, I don't want that because it's a story. What do you mean no?
It cut out again.
Let me try this one last time. I don't want this ending because it's a fundamental understanding of the story of Scott Pilgrim and why Scott being with knives is a bad thing. Did I go
Why do
through
I have
this
to
time?
do this? What?
Hit him, Pookie.
Don't call me that.
Shh. Oh, never mind. We're both gonna get cooked. But no. All right. It's still cutting. I'm sorry. I can't.
even the fixing part got censored.
I will fucking end you.
I'm not the one doing it.
I know. I'm getting mad for no reason. Oh, whatever. We'll thug it out. Was I cutting when I was on my computer?
No.
Okay, then it's just the PlayStation. I don't know what to fucking tell you.
I don't know why you can't just have your laptop near you though.
I could, but I didn't. I'm not doing all that. Because then I have to remove it from my room and stuff.
It's not that complicated, dude. It's a laptop.
Too many wires, man.
Too many wires on a laptop, dude. What the hell? Like,
You clearly don't know my laptop setup. Let's just say there's a lot of wires. Yeah, fuck you, Todd. But yeah, back to like stuff that I think, that I don't like about this movie, is vegan police get his ass. You're
doing a terrible job at actually hitting him, dude.
Oh, I'm gonna need you to
get
get
to
off
the
my.
same,
I'm gonna
like-
need you to get off my dick. All right, that's what
I
I'm gonna
cannot
need you
get
do.
to the same like area on where Todd is to like hit him.
But nah, like
Might as well do like the spin move thing.
But yeah, basically my main point is with that, and like I think, I feel like the movie doesn't earn Scott and Ramona like liking each other. Like it doesn't feel earned. Because it just doesn't feel natural. That's what I'll say. It just doesn't feel natural comparatively to the other adaptations. But other stuff I don't like. There's not too many. That's one of my main issues. Oh yeah. The X's. Oh, actually I don't really have much complaining about the X's.
Other than
They're
the
all
twins.
The twins, yeah, the twins are
Because
nothing.
they don't do anything.
They serve. Well, to be fair to the movie, they serve the necessary role they play in the film.
It's a plot device, not a character.
They're a plot device, yeah. I feel like he's our main, and so we're getting into him right around when the. So it's
Okay,
like
well.
they're obstacle to get through. Me and Syndex when we start streaming.
Marv.
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
leave. I will leave.
No, I need you.
I will leave.
Listen, I'm sorry. But no, what else? I'm trying to think. I don't like other than that. I don't think. I guess another problem. Nega Scott feels shoot. He's just. I don't know. He's just kind of shooting.
For
He was.
context, he was supposed to be more foreshadowed originally. I don't know why they didn't go with those scenes, but they filmed them. Yeah, so he was gonna be a little bit more in the film, like basically foreshadowing to the end. So yeah, I'm not too sure why they kept him in. Regardless, though, like it's kind of.
Yeah, all they did
But
was
that
set him
those
up at the
even with
beginning.
those scenes, he feels like just like put in there just because why not?
Yeah, like the only really is set up from the movie I remember is him saying I can't get past.
Yeah, honestly, it's like
that's
just
the
not
only
much.
setup. It would have been. They just fucking left him out.
And of course, that character's we're only gonna really talk about him like for the movie and the books because he's not in Takes Off.
He's not in Takes Off. Yeah, just really
Unless
his
you
only
count
relevance
Dolder
in this
Scott.
conversation. The small he's just kind of set up in the. He's just kind of like lazily tapped in at the end of the. Another problem, Kim. I think, at least pertaining to the movie, Kim, like, they don't really develop too much about, like, what Scott specifically did to do her wrong. Like, obviously...
Unless you were watching Adult Swim at the time.
Yeah, but even then, I will say this. You fucking asshole. You dickhead.
That was for the shitty thing you did to Kim, you asshole.
I know, I'm such a dick. But yeah, no, like, I'll even say, because...
We had to hear from Lisa.
I love Lisa. Anyways, what's it called? Even with, what's it called? Oh, fuck. Even with the short that's technically canonical to the, movie, which all that short really is, fuck! All that short is... By the
way, that short, I like that short. I like how it perfectly emulates the art style, the early art style of Scott Pilgrim.
No, I like it too.
We could talk about...
We could talk about the specifics of that short. But
yeah,
all I'll say on that is that, like...
talk about it, really.
Yeah, but I'll just talk about it what's relevant to the movie. Firstly, I'll say this now. Like the main way we know of what happened between the two, because it shouldn't be... I shouldn't have to use external information to understand the movie. Secondly, I don't even think the short does to justify why she dislikes, or like why she has such a grudge against Scott. Because we gotta keep in mind, unlike the books where we got that Kim reveals what actually happened.
I had to die to make sure the cutscene worked.
Yeah. Unlike the books where we actually found out that part of the story is not canonical.
Cutting.
Am I still cutting?
Dude, you might as well just use your normal phone mic.
I don't wanna... I like this mic though. That's where I'm afraid if I use my headset mic, it might cut as well.
Dude, it never cuts when you have your phone.
Well, yeah, because it's on my phone.
Yeah, so what I'm saying here is that your phone mic is better than the mic you're using right now. Somehow. It's not cut.
I fucking hate streaming sometimes.
You've never really streamed, dude.
Yes, I have before, Syndex. There's streams on my channel, just not discussion streams like this one. Regardless, I'll just wrap this. I feel like the movie doesn't justify why Kim dislikes Scott. On its own, separating the short from canonicalism, you can kind of fill in the blank. Because at least you don't know.
Sorry, chat. You're gonna have to fill in the blanks for that one as well.
I will fucking indeed. Alright, fine. What the fuck? This shit I be seeing. Oh, I'll check that out later from my friend. I'll get on my phone. Oh, but if I do, I'm gonna have to hear you. That's gonna be annoying. How about this? This is better.
No, but
Are
at
you
least you don't cut out.
All right, fine. I guess just to get my point across, just to get my goddamn point across. At least without the short, you can kind of fill in the blanks of what happened. And so you could be like, oh, Scott must have done something really shitty. But I still think it doesn't elaborate enough to where, like, you feel like Kim deserved the apology. You know what I mean? Like, because he doesn't even say what he's apologizing for. He just says, I'm sorry, Kim, for everything. And then that's it. That's the extent of their interaction.
They're
Like,
just
the
fitting
book-
in random lines from Volume 5.
Yeah. Like, at least in Volume 5, Scott has to confront that shit. And we
Do you
have, like, a
think...
whole extent.
Wait, hold on. Does your other mic have, like, what do you call, like noise canceling?
What do you mean?
Like, does it have, like, a noise canceling button thing? Like, you know...
On it?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, because that might be the reason why it keeps on cutting out.
It's just noise canceling. I don't know. This stream's a mess. Regardless. I'll look into that maybe while we're doing this. But back to what I was saying, right? I feel like it's too vague. Like there's not enough detail in the movie to understand why Kim would have this like hatred towards Scott. While in the books, it feels like you get a bit more information. Like it's just like, oh yeah, he's apologizing. What is he apologizing for? I don't know. Okay. And then in the and then with the short, but then if we take the short in mind, all like this is kind of this is a similar problem I have with Takes Off, but to a lesser capacity because it's not as focused on. Is they go with the fake bullshit story or like of like what happened between Scott and Kim. Like technically speaking, canonically, this is what happened. Like the short even treats it as such. Off my dick! Leave me alone! The short treats it like that. Like this is what actually happened between Scott and Kim. This ninja will not leave me alone. I'm sorry.
Oh shit, that's... Okay, hold on, let me lower that. Talk?
Hello?
Okay. Let me lower it a little. That'll be fine.
Am I
Alright.
really loud or something?
I increased your volume.
Oh, I was quiet. Okay.
Yeah, I increased your volume. That also appears on the stream itself.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so I can actually hear you, and the stream can hear you way better.
All right. Well, regardless, like I was saying, I feel it's the same problem I have with Takes Off, which we'll discuss, and I'm dead. Is that they go with the fake bullshit story that Scott believes, but isn't what actually happened. But in the movie's case, technically that's canonical of what happens. Like that's the canonically what happened between Scott and Kim. And the movie doesn't present any way that is wrong. So with that in mind,
Does the movie even talk about like Scott and Kim's relationship really at all? I mean, I know they mentioned it a couple times, but like
it gets brought up a lot.
It gets brought up a lot, but you don't really know what the relationship is at all, unless you watch the short. You would have no idea.
Yeah, and even still, I don't think
or read the books beforehand.
But yeah, that's like my point though, is that like in order to understand it, you have to watch a cartoon, you have to watch a short on Adult Swim, and even still, granted, to the movie's safety, or in defense of the movie, we didn't know the bullshit that backstory was bullshit at the time until Volume 6, and Volume 6 wasn't out yet. So they just used the bullshit story that Scott believed, and but the thing is like The point of the bullshit story is to make it seem like Scott didn't do
Listen.
really that much wrong. You know what I mean? Like the only somewhat terrible thing he does is that
His own recounting basically is trying to mask the fact that he didn't do anything wrong here or whatever, something like
yeah,
that, you know.
yeah, and that's the canonical reason
Not
why
true,
Kim.
you know. We know, but like, you know.
But like, yeah, you have to read the books for that, and even still, the movie in any way doesn't like tell us that that is the case. So canonically speaking, this is what happened between Scott and Kim in this iteration, and to me, that doesn't make sense why she would dislike Scott. Um, it's just like, oh, he moved away. Okay, so now you're just gonna you're gonna hate him now. All right, cool.
I
Well,
don't
not hate him, but like,
entirely agree with like, oh, that's supposed to be the canon. I feel like in all iterations it did happen, but like, how is the audience supposed to really know that?
well, no, like, well, the reason I'm saying that it's the canonical explanation because we're not given any other explanation in.
Yeah,
either
yeah, yeah,
movie.
yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying. That's exactly my point. Like, how is the audience supposed to know that that story was like basically fabricated? You have to go to other materials that's outside of it to really confirm it, you know? And
Yeah,
if you have to go outside to basically justify something else, it's kind of, you know,
that's bad writing. That's what we call bad
it's bad.
writing.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's one of the issues I do have with the movie, and it's a similar one I have with Takes Off because you can't argue with me. Takes Off pretty much presents that as the actual what actually happened to him because it's told by Kim's perspective.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess you could say that Kim is also in denial, which I mean, they do kind of somewhat say that a little bit in like, what do you call? I forgot what value, but like it was a dream of hers where the fake Simon Lee was there.
Yeah, but I still don't think it justifies the show or the movie because both iterations don't tell us otherwise. And you have to use external media that isn't even canonical to these versions of the story.
What we do know is that Takes Off is like loosely based off of what generally happened in the books, but it obviously happened a little differently.
Yeah, well, and this is one of the differences, but we'll
Like
get into
for
that one.
example, the canonical births of both Gideon and Julie, you know?
They're
Like
different from the
like
books.
Gideon and Julie were both born in the same like year and Takes Off, but in any other iteration, like Gideon is like way older.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. That's why I'm taking what the story is giving me, and I'm not being like, well, because of the books, this is why. I'm taking what we're given and using that. Like we can I think to a certain level we can vaguely get an idea of what happens by using other media like for Takes Off like with the books and stuff. But I don't think that's enough to. But I don't think that works for everything. Like for example, in Takes Off, canonically that's what happened because it's told from Kim's perspective, while in the books it's told from Scott's biased perspective, where he's masking the actual issues. Or
And again,
misremembers.
Kim could be doing the same thing, but like Takes Off doesn't
We
really give
literally have to use
us
the books to justify that too.
Takes Off really doesn't give you anything else to really give you that idea.
But yeah, that's the issue. It's like even with that, you have to use something from the books to justify them, and the books aren't canonical to these other versions. But back to the movie, right? Since that's the canonical ending, to what happened to the relationship, you're just like, well, what the fuck did Scott do? He left. He left. He moved. Something that was completely out of his control. Like, so it doesn't make sense for this version of Kim to dislike him or make these kind of jabs at him. Because otherwise, it just makes her come across as a bitch.
We're just talking about Takes Off at this point.
Well, I'm talking about the movie, but yeah, like to me, there's not enough justifiable. With Takes Off, there's a bit of leniency there. Ah, fuck, I died.
How did you die?
Because I'm a dingus. That's how. Goodbye. But no, like, I think those are the main broad issues, I have with the movie itself. Let's talk about the positives now, because we've been so fucking negative. I think the casting's good. I think everybody's very well casted for their roles, especially the exes. I think the prop design's good. I think the little CGI that's in this movie is done effectively.
It's
Um,
a live action movie, you know. They're actors, not really voice actors, so it's a little different when it's this is just set up for later, by the way, because I'm gonna talk about some of the criticisms I have for Takes Off. But the main difference between the movie and Takes Off is that the movie is a live action movie, so of course it's gonna have actors, and you know it's a little bit of a different medium than voice acting. Although some people think it's the same, which I do not agree with. Voice acting and acting are
that's completely false.
pretty different.
Yeah, but yeah, I think the acting's good. I think the casting's good. Costume design's good. Writing for the most part is pretty solid. The directing is fantastic in this movie. Like, this is one of my favorite directed, like, comic book movies of all time. I think it does a lot of good directing and captures the spirit of the spirit in the comedy of Scott Pilgrim. Like, what else? What else do we like about the movie? Syndex, you got any positives about the movie?
I mean, I kind of already somewhat covered it. I mean, I do like how they give a little bit more context about like Roxy and Ramona, at least, you know, a little bit more idea of what happened in that whole ordeal.
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, I mean, I kind of already talked about my positives already, technically, earlier, where it's like, I think it's an alright movie. Stand alone, if you don't know anything else about Scott Pilgrim, I'd say it's an alright introduction to the world, but I don't think it's like the best version of this story that could be told. That's
yeah.
that is just my perspective, my opinion on that.
I will say this: there are things I think they do better in the movie than the books, and I'm trying to remember which specific things. One, I think the way Roxy is used in this movie is more effective than she is in the books. And this comes down to a problem I have with Volume 4, which we will get to later.
We'll talk about Volume 4 later.
Yeah, and but I think
Speaking of Volume 4, aren't we gonna go fight the main the antagonist in Volume 4?
yeah.
Anyway,
Oh yeah, the jokes. I love the jokes in this movie. It's so funny.
my favorite really is when Scott jumped out of the window.
Is Scott here? You know what? He just left. Really? Yeah. I love that. I love. There's a lot of things I love about the movie. I think it does a decent job adapting the source material. It's well directed. I love the acting. The aspects I think that are better from the movie is it's mostly small stuff like lines. Like at the start when Scott is talking to in the bedroom with Steven and what's it called? Steven, Knives, and not Knives, Steven, Neil, and Kim. I like the slight changes of like who says what. I think that makes it like those scenes a little better than the source material. Also, I just think anything adapting Volume 1 is paced a lot better in the movie than it was in the book. It's a small thing for the books, which we'll get into, but I think the books dragged out certain sections and felt too long. And I think the movie did like streamline those sections and make it feel not as like dragged out. It felt more well paced, which maybe that's the benefit of it being a movie. But like I said, I think the pacing's good.
There pretty much is the benefit of a movie because you gotta make sure the pacing's good. You don't want to drag on too long.
I paced the actors really well. I think everyone, even Michael Cera, which I know some people aren't gonna like, did a good job overall. Because like I said, I treat this movie differently than how I would treat the books. I don't see this Scott as the same as the one we got in the books. Like you can complain about that in terms of adaptation. I do prefer. This is probably my least favorite version of Scott, but I do just think overall, I think the movie version.
My least favorite Ramona as well, I'll be honest.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Ramona sucks.
Like she serves her role very well for this version of the story, but I don't like Ramona in this either. Oh, Knives! I like the way Knives is done in this movie. Like I like her as a character in this movie. Like, there's a lot of things I like about this movie that I think justifies its existence.
Oh yeah, they have the chains in this one because it's kind of somewhat supposed to be a tie-in with the movie, so.
Unfortunately. Stop your rage. Stop your rage, you ninja. But nah, like, I think just overall, I mean, I guess the small criticism, I don't like the way Roxy looks in this version. I think the best look for her is probably the show, if I'm gonna be honest. Actually, scratch that. The worst look is the video game, but we'll get to that later. That's a common thing we're just saying. We'll get to that later. I think we've said everything that needs to be said. I think the movie overall is an 8 out of 10. Pretty good. What would you rate the movie, Syndex?
I had to do a side conversation, so what were you talking about?
I think we said everything we need to say about the movie, in terms of what we like and dislike. What would you rate it?
I don't know if I want to give my ratings.
This is our stream, Syndex.
Cause I don't know. Did I even give a rating back then?
Yeah, you said it was like a 7 or something.
Sure. Let's go with that. Sure.
It was like either a 7 or a 7. No, it was either a 7.
I don't know. I need to check. I need to check what my rating was when I watched it. When I rewatched. Did I even?
Did you write it down somewhere?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's an 8 overall. Like I said, I unlike Syndex, I treat this more as its own thing rather than trying to compare it solely to the books.
No, I don't think I actually gave it a rating.
I remember it was lower than mine.
Yeah, because he kept on narking me about like giving a rating. I was like, dude, I honestly I don't really like giving ratings.
That's a lie. You said you would give me a rating after we watched it, and you did. Stop lying.
I only made up something, dude. Hold on, let me. Dude, I can't. Dude, I don't know when we did this.
It was like a month. It was like a month ago. I think it was like either late July or early August. It might have been in July. I'm pretty sure.
I mostly like to give out my own opinion, and then you like basically come to your own conclusion.
Yeah, I mean that's what we're doing. It's like yeah. Just because if you rated a certain thing, like if you think it's lesser than the way I think it is, I don't care. It's opinions. It's whatever, man. But yeah,
Yeah, no, I did not write this down. Yeah, no, I didn't write down any rating.
You're goofy, bro. But nah, that's where I think you said it was like a 7 or something.
Maybe, I don't know, dude. Oh yeah, I love this song. Anyway, do you want to use the shortcut?
Sure.
Have you even used the shortcut?
Yeah, I've used it.
This is my favorite track from the game.
Yeah, trust me, you glazed this track. All right. With that being said,
Don't put it like that. Like, jeez, dude.
You glaze it. Shut up. Shut up, Syndex. You glaze it.
That is.
But no.
That is not. That is. That no. Anyway,